Welcome to our continuing series, Questions and Answers for a World in Crisis. Today, we take up the subject of discipline. The mother. Discipline is indispensable to physical life. The proper functioning of the organs is based on a discipline. It is precisely when an organ or a part of the body does not obey the general discipline of the body that one falls ill. Discipline is indispensable to progress. It is only when one imposes a rigorous and enlightened discipline on oneself that one can be free from the discipline of others. The supreme discipline is integral surrender to the divine, and to allow nothing else, either in one's feelings or in one's activities. Nothing should ever be omitted from this surrender. That is the supreme and most rigorous discipline. 17th February 1972. Communal life must necessarily have a discipline so that the weaker are not bullied by the stronger. And this discipline must be respected by all those who want to live in that community. But for the community to be happy, this discipline should be set by the most broad-minded person or persons. If possible, the person or persons who are conscious of the divine presence and are surrendered to it. There can be no physical education without discipline. The body itself could not function without a strict discipline. Actually, the failure to recognize this fact is the principal cause of illness. Digestion, growth, blood circulation, everything is a discipline. Thought, movement, gesture, everything is a discipline. And if there is no discipline, people immediately fall ill. Each one has his own taste and his own temperament. Nothing can be done without discipline. The whole of life is a discipline. To discipline one's life is not easy, even for those who are strong, severe with themselves, courageous, and enduring. But before trying to discipline one's whole life, one should at least try to discipline one activity and persist until one succeeds. 13 October 1963. Since the most ancient times, each system of yoga has developed its own discipline in all its details. All that can be studied, learned, and practiced. But according to Sri Aurobindo's teaching, each of these practices has its limitations and gives only a partial result. That is why he advised those who want to follow the integral yoga to find their own discipline based on the ancient knowledge, but adapted to the needs and the condition of each individual. 1st July 1964. Yes, last night I asked you why you had not studied, and I said that to yield like that to the impulses of the vital was certainly not the way to control it. You must create a discipline for yourself and impose it on yourself at all costs if you want to put an end to vital bad will and mental depression. Without discipline, one can do nothing in life, and all yoga is impossible. 22 December 1934. But it is very difficult to know how to organize one's own freedom, oneself. Still, if you were to succeed in doing that, in giving yourself your own discipline, and for higher reasons, not in order to pass exams, to make a career, please your teachers, win many prizes, or all the ordinary reasons children have, in order not to be scolded, not to be punished, for all that, we leave out all those reasons. If you manage to impose a discipline upon yourself, each one his own, there is no need to follow someone else's. A discipline simply because you want to progress and draw the best out of yourself, then, you will be far superior to those who follow the ordinary school disciplines. That is what I wanted to try. Mind you, I don't say I have failed. I still have great hope that you will know how to profit by this unique opportunity. But all the same, there is something you must find out. It is the necessity of an inner discipline. Without discipline, you won't be able to get anywhere. Without discipline, you can't even live the normal life of a normal man. But instead of having the conventional discipline of ordinary societies or ordinary institutions, I would have liked, and I still want, you to have the discipline you set for yourselves, for the love of perfection, your own perfection, the perfection of your being. But without that, note that if one didn't discipline the body, one would not even be able to stand on two legs. One would continue like a child on all fours. You could do nothing. You are obliged to discipline yourself. You could not live in society. You could not live at all, except all alone in the forest, and even then, I don't quite know. It is absolutely indispensable. I have told you this, I don't know how often. And because I have a very marked aversion for conventional disciplines, social and others, it does not mean that you must abstain from all discipline. I would like everyone to find his own, in the sincerity of his inner aspiration and the will to realize himself. Without discipline, no proper work is possible. Without discipline, no proper life is possible. And above all, without discipline, no sadhana is possible. A discipline in itself is not what we are seeking. What we are seeking is to be concentrated on the divine in all that we do, at all times, in all our acts, and in every movement. There are some here who have been told to meditate, but also there are others who have not been asked to do any meditation at all. But it must not be thought that they are not progressing. They too follow a discipline. but it is of another nature. To work, to act with devotion, and an inner consecration is also a spiritual discipline. Questions and answers, 21st April 1929. No life can be successful without self-discipline. To be a man, discipline is indispensable. Without discipline, one is only an animal. One begins to be a man only when one aspires to a higher and truer life, and when one accepts a discipline of transformation. For this, one must start by mastering one's lower nature and its desires. 9 March 1972. It can be said that all discipline whatsoever, if it is followed strictly, sincerely, deliberately, is of considerable help, for it makes the earthly life reach its goal more rapidly and prepares it to receive the new life. To discipline oneself is to hasten the arrival of this new life and the contact with the supramental reality. Of all things, then, the most important is good example, and that demands a perfection, a self-mastery representing a great step on the way of realization. And if you fulfill the necessary conditions for being a true leader, even if you be the leader of a small group of children, you have already advanced far in the necessary discipline for the fulfillment of the yoga. And when one wants a thing to be realized, one must be capable of realizing it. You must not at every step be stopped by an incapacity or a bad will or want of cooperation from the body. For that you have to follow a physical discipline and become the master of your own house. Question. Sweet Mother, here it is written, a spiritual atmosphere is more important than outer conditions. If one can get that and also create one's own spiritual air to breathe in it and live in it, that is the true condition of progress. How can one get that and also create one's true spiritual atmosphere? Get what? It is precisely by inner discipline. You can create your own atmosphere by controlling your thoughts, turning them exclusively towards the sadhana, controlling your actions, turning them exclusively towards the sadhana, abolishing all desires and all useless external ordinary activities, living a more intense inner life, and separating yourself from ordinary things, ordinary thoughts, ordinary reactions, ordinary actions, then you create a kind of atmosphere around you. If you impose a discipline upon yourself, and if it isn't too stupid, it may help you. A discipline, I tell you, disciplines, tapasyas, all ascetic disciplines are, as ordinarily practiced, the best means of making you proud, of building up in you such a terrific pride that never, never will you be converted. It will have to be broken down with hammer strokes. The first condition is a healthy humility, which makes you realize that unless you are sustained, nourished, helped, enlightened, guided by the divine, you are nothing at all. There now. When you have felt that, not only understood it with your mind, but felt it down to your very body, then you will begin to be wise, but not before.